She came into your life like lightning, didn't she? Fast, bright, intense, and out of nowhere. From day one, it felt like destiny. She texted nonstop, called you her soulmate, told you she'd never felt this way before. And you believed it because it felt good, it felt right. But what you didn't know was that this wasn't love, Toru. It was strategy. The narcissist doesn't love, they conquer. And this was the beginning of the three-part cycle that would leave you questioning your sanity. Love bomb, devalue, discard. It always starts with intensity. That's phase one, the love bomb. They mirror your dreams, your humor, your wounds. You think, finally, someone who gets me. You bond fast, you let your guard down. She floods you with attention, texts, calls, gifts, sex, promises. She studies your weaknesses and makes you feel like the most loved person on earth. But here's the catch. She doesn't love you, she studies you. Every compliment is data. Every confession you make becomes a weapon for later. And then, it shifts. Subtly at first. You say something harmless, and she snaps. You ask for clarity, and she pulls away. You're confused, you chase, you think, what did I do wrong? And that's exactly what she wants. Welcome to phase two, devaluation. Now she rewrites the script. Suddenly, nothing you do is enough. She criticizes, mocks, withdraws. She compares you to others. And worst of all, she gives you just enough breadcrumbs to keep you hooked. A kiss here, a miss you there, right before she goes cold again. You become addicted to her approval, but it never lasts. She flips your words, denies your reality, makes you feel crazy. You used to feel loved, now you feel anxious, trapped, obsessed. And the more you chase her affection, the more you lose yourself. This is psychological warfare. And you're losing. But you don't leave, and because your brain is trauma bonded. You're addicted to the cycle, the highs and the lows. The dopamine of her attention, the cortisol of her rejection. And just when you start to see the pattern, just when you start to question things, she hits you with phase three. Discard. She ghosts. Or worse, she blames you. She tells others you were toxic. She rewrites history and acts like she was the victim. You're left shattered, confused, isolated. You replay every moment trying to understand what went wrong. But here's the truth. Nothing was wrong with you. You were targeted. This was never about love, and it was about control. The narcissist's cycle isn't an accident, it's a script. And you weren't her partner. You were her supply. But there's a reason she picked you, because you had light. Because you were kind. Because you had depth, something she could never have. And now that you're broken, she moves on to the next. But this story doesn't have to end here. Because once you see the pattern, you break it. Once you stop craving her validation, you heal. Once you realize you don't need closure from someone who was never honest, you reclaim your power. And that's the ultimate revenge. Peace, emotional detachment, moving on in silence. Because narcissists hate being forgotten more than they hate being exposed. So if this cycle sounds familiar, if your perfect love turned into pain, know this. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You were manipulated. And now you're waking up. You're healing. You're cutting the cord. And the next time someone tries to love bomb you, you'll recognize it. You'll step back. You'll protect your peace. Because real love doesn't confuse you. It calms you. Real love builds, not breaks. And you, my friend, deserve nothing less than that.